I would like to apologize for the mic in this video. The quality is really bad. It's from like an old headset my friend gave me. I feel like I'm back in fifth grade doing this intro, but I made the lab from Man and Redman and Man and Redman 2 in Minecraft. And I haven't really made anything in Minecraft in a while, but I got this idea and I kind of had to do it. So if you're just here from the Sonic channel and you don't know what Man and Redman is, it was something that me and my friends made like a few years ago. It was like two animations, like two movies that we uploaded to my original channel before this Media Arts channel. And we loved them. Looking back, they aged kind of poorly. They were kind of bad, but they were still really fun to make. So I figured I should make the lab in here because I still do love the world that we made. Before I actually go into the lab, if you're wondering what this is, in one scene in Man of Red Man 2, Bob, this employee, is shown shooting Jupiter and Mars into the solar system. So here we have Mars and we have Jupiter coming out from the dispenser. And inside, I put all the workers from the lab, right? The boss, Dr. Scientist, Bob, the employee, Bob the turtle, and Twos. I know Twos doesn't really look like a stick figure with a two on his head, but this is kind of the best I could do if I wanted to keep it with the theme. Anyways, if we actually go into the lab, it's a pretty big lab and I couldn't really fit it all in here. So what I did was I made a water elevator and I had to learn some basic redstone to do it, but it was really easy. Anyways, I didn't use that much redstone because I'm kind of bad at redstone, but I did do one other basic thing besides this. Both the Man and Red Man movies start with Dr. Scientist not knowing where the lights are, and he's like, "Oh, where are the lights in here?" And then he flicks the light switch and turns them on. So I did want to put that in somehow. One thing I learned when I was making this is that basically every scene with the lab has something completely new and random in it that wasn't in the earlier one. So in one scene, Dr. Scientist is at a random table on his phone. So here we go. This is a phone. This is a table. This isn't actually in the movie, but I just wanted to put these flowers to make him look like Manda Red Man because I thought it was kind of a nice reference. And this is from a scene where Bob and his friend Bill are playing Slap the Man Pro on this TV. Slap the Man was a game I was going to make, and then I didn't make it, but it basically had all the characters from Man and Red Man. The idea for the game was a thing before the movie, actually, and then I made the movie and never made the game. Anyways, also from Man and Red Man 2, here's a chair that Bob sits on. He sits on this chair, and then he accidentally hits a button. And speaking of Bob, here's Bob the Turtle, right? Because Bob the guy and Bob the Turtle have the same name. And here's Bob's whole area, actually. Now, one thing I included in here, I didn't just include stuff from the movies, I included stuff from the comics. And yeah, I know none of you have ever read the comics because I made them and probably showed them to like two people. And one of them was my sister, and I think the other one was like Desi. Hi, Desi. This is Bob's computer, right? From Man Man 2. And here's the stool that Bob the Turtle sits on. Here, this only really appears for 1 second. If you played my game Thursday Night Thunkin, Jim Bob is the main character, and I never actually put Jim Bot in the game, but he's like Metal Jim Bob basically, and I thought he was cool, and I drew him a lot even if I didn't actually put him in the game. So in Man Red Man 2, there's a little scene where you see, as a nice reference, Jim Bot just kind of hanging in a cage in Bob's little area. So I did the best I could to make a robot, right? This jukebox because music, and this kind of looks like a robot material, so I'll put the stone bricks, redstone to power it, and lights to make him like light up. Here's like a random control center that Bob worked at in Man or Man 2. And this isn't from Man or Man 2, this is from the comics. This is a little alien area because originally the lab was Area 51, and then I thought that was corny, and I changed it to just be Dr. Scientist's headquarters or like the lab or whatever. Point is, originally it was Area 51, so the theme was aliens because I was in sixth grade, and there was the alien trend and the raid and whatever. Point is, the aliens had a PS5 that Bob got for them, so using armor stands and stuff, I made this PS5. And I also did that because the PS5, it wasn't even out yet, but it was just new, and I was like, whoa, the PS5 is coming out soon, and I thought it was cool. If you couldn't tell, I used a lot of custom heads for this. This is Bob's cereal making area, where he makes cereal for the aliens, like in Man or Man 2, and also in the Bob comic that I made. Speaking of comics, this other area is basically fully from the comics. Two's, right, he's in Man or Man 2, but before he was ever in Man or Man 2, he was in the comic This Guy, and this is this guy. He was a stick figure with the at symbol for a head, and he got killed, but after he got killed, Two's kind of brought him back to life. He put his body and stuff in like healing chambers, test tubes, whatever, and brought him back to life. And also, he was able to travel through dimensions, right? Here's a little portal thing that's supposed to be Dimension Portal, because this guy was actually Twos from a different dimension. And this is a second place trophy that Twos won for the incredible discovery of traveling dimensions. First place was a baking soda volcano. Here's an Alexa from the beginning of Man and Red Man 2. And here's a computer that Dr. Scientist uses in Man and Red Man 1. Also in Man and Red Man 1, in one scene, Dr. Scientist is looking through cameras to look at Red Hand and how he's doing. And I didn't just want to make these cameras be Red Hand because I felt like that would be boring. So what I did was I went on a custom skin Minecraft maker and I made 6 skins that were all just Steve with a different head. And I textured the heads to be different planets. I think I did good on all of them, except Planet Factory is supposed to be a triangle, so it does look kind of weird. But besides that, I think I did good. The red planet is actually a moon, not a planet, if you forgot that lore. So I guess the 5 planets and the moon. This is the main centerpiece.
It's not gonna be impossible.
Oh, I saw a sheep! Dude, you missed it! Oh, that's a wolf.
Panda.
No, it's a wolf! Can you see?
Oh,
Well, I thought it was a sheep. Maybe it's a wolf panda sheep.
This is the main centerpiece of everything. What started everything, like the opening scene of all of Man and Red Man, is Dr. Scientist gets together a wolf, a panda, and a sheep, and he flicks it and he puts them together, and this is where it would appear if it did. This is actually the last thing I put in the lab because I felt like it's the most monumental, it's the most important thing. Anyways, here, so Dr. Scientist is feeling good. He's like, oh, I made the wolf panda sheep. I'm going to go get some food. And then he goes to get lunch. And I tried to make the food look as accurate as it could to what it looked like in the movie. We don't actually see what's on the right door, so I just put whatever. So you might be thinking, well, that's cool. That's the whole lab. That's everything. But there is a little bit more. If you open this, it takes you to the secret room. And you might see like the Aether portal and the Herobrine spawner and the Witherstorm, and you might be thinking, well, Steven, none of this was in Man and Red Man. Why didn't we see it if this is supposed to be a one-to-one recreation? And the answer, it was secret. It was in the hidden room. It was here all along. You just didn't see it. Anyways, back to Man and Red Man 2, which is where most of this stuff is from. Dr. Scientist brought Red Hand back to life, and the way it was supposed to work, my friend 876 animated about half the movie, and I wrote the script, and what she didn't really get was that in the script I said, oh, have Dr. Scientist bring back Red Hand like you bring back the Ender Dragon. And as much as she did a great job with the whole animation, she didn't really do that. She just had Dr. Scientist go on a computer and type /summon Red Hand instead of like putting the crystals around. Anyways, she did draw a little red egg, so I guess that's close enough, and that's also why I put the dragon egg here. Like I said, some of this stuff isn't actually from the movie, obviously, if this doesn't look like Man and Red Man to you. But what is Man and Red Man is this, because in the middle of Man and Red Man 2, Dr. Scientist is trying to come back to life because he kind of died in the beginning. And through the power of Slaptonium after Jupiter explodes, if you haven't seen the movie, it would make a lot more sense if you watched the movie. He goes in like this cryo chamber and comes back to life. So that's the cryo chamber. And the last thing is this giant wolf panda sheep magnet. In the beginning of Man and Red Man 2, Dr. Scientist is at this little device and he's controlling the magnet because he wanted to get the wolf panda sheep back. So he made this to get him back. And then that starts Man and Red Man 2. And I think that was made in like 6th grade. No, not 6th grade. It would have been 7th grade. But in 7th grade is when that scene was made. So there's a lot of old corny memes that are kind of outdated. But it does say sub to Ice Fox. So that is a nice little reference at least. And besides all that, this is the only thing left. And if you're wondering, what is this? Well, that's because this isn't from anything that I ever finished or released. This is from Man and Red Man 4. And if you've been paying attention or watched the Man and Red Mans, you would know that there's only 2. And Man and Red Man .5, but that one's like 2 minutes long and it doesn't count. And I made it in like a few days. Anyways, what is important is that this is from Man and Red Man 4 because for a long time I was writing the script for Man and Red Man 3 and it was pretty messy. And it would only make sense if I made like a second game and if I made like a bunch of other lore stuff and did some extra stuff and made like some more comics. And I was like, okay, this isn't working. This isn't making sense. And also, I got lazy and I didn't finish it, and I decided to make conflictions instead. So, what I started doing recently, a few months ago, is I started the script for Man and Red Man 4, where Dr. Scientist gets upset about how everything's going, so he time travels to get rid of his problems, and he goes past Man and Red Man 3 into Man and Red Man 4, and that's where the time machine is. And if you're wondering where he is, he's in the future right now. Now, if I can be completely honest, I don't know if Man and Red Man 4 is really going to happen because I haven't worked on it in a little bit. And, you know, if you guys do want it to come, put something in the comments. Say, I would watch Man and Red Man 4. I know Desi would. I don't really know who else would. But if it's a thing people actually want, maybe I will make it. I hate animating, if I can be honest. I love making the scripts. I love making the characters. I hate animating. But I would do it if it's something you guys actually want to see. Other than that, this is the whole lab. So thank you for watching. I love doing stuff like this. I know it isn't Sonic related, but I figured, you know, why not do something else for a change? So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time with a Sonic video.